So you've got a business idea, that's the spark, but how do you really know if it's a spark that can turn into a roaring fire? Well, today we're going to break down the founder's blueprint for picking the right product and how to turn that amazing idea into a solid, workable plan.
This is the question, isn't it? It's the one that probably keeps you up at night. You believe in your idea, for sure, but is it just a passion project, or is it a real-deal business opportunity? We're about to walk through the critical questions you absolutely have to answer to figure that out.
Okay, first things first. Before you even think about printing a business card or building a website, we have to stress test the very foundation of your idea. Is this thing actually viable in the real world? This is where being brutally honest with yourself is going to be your greatest asset.
These checks kind of force you to look in two directions at once. You've got to look inward at what you bring to the table and outward at what the market looks like. Do you actually have the experience to be credible here? Is the field already packed with competitors? And maybe the most important question of all, can you really commit the insane amount of time it takes just to get off the ground? This isn't just about the product. It's about you and your real place in this whole ecosystem.
All right, let's say your idea passed that first big test. That's awesome. Now we get to the really practical part. Who is actually going to do the work? An idea doesn't weigh anything, right? But a business needs hands, it needs minds, and it needs a whole lot of effort to build and run.
Sooner or later, you're probably going to need some help. And that help comes in a few different flavors. You could train unskilled workers for certain tasks, which is definitely less expensive. Or you could hire skilled experts who can just hit the ground running, but they're going to command much higher salaries. The choice you make here has a direct impact on your budget and, let's be real, on your own personal workload.
And here it is, the reality for pretty much every founder out there. In the beginning, you're not just the CEO. You're the marketing department, you're the janitor, and you're the customer service hotline. Until you've got the cash to build a team, you better be ready to wear every single hat in the company.
And when you finally can hire someone, it is so important to see the whole picture. The cost is never just the salary. If we look at this example from South Africa, we can see there are other mandatory costs. On top of what you pay your employee, you as the employer also have to chip in for things like unemployment insurance and skills training funds. These little percentages might seem small, but they add up, and they have to be in your financial plan.
Which leads us perfectly to the next absolutely enormous question. Where's the money going to come from? I mean, funding is the fuel for your business engine, plain and simple. We can break down the costs into two main buckets.
You know, it's really easy to get these two mixed up, but keeping them separate is vital if you want to survive. Think of it like this. Startup costs are the one-time hits you take just to get the doors open. Buying equipment, paying for licenses, that kind of thing. But operating costs, those are the relentless, recurring bills that show up every single month. Salaries, rent, electricity. You need enough cash to cover all of this until your business starts paying for itself.
So where does that cash actually come from? Well, the most common paths usually start pretty close to home. Your own savings, or maybe bringing on partners and family. Each one has its pros and cons for sure. Using your own money means you have total control, but it also means you carry total risk. Taking money from other people means sharing ownership. And loans? They're an option, but usually only after you've already proven the business has some legs to stand on.
All right, let's shift gears from the financial side of things to the physical. What do you actually, tangibly need in terms of space and materials to make your product or deliver your service?
Your workspace is so much more than just a place. It's a tool, and it has to be functional and safe. This means thinking through everything from good lighting and the right kind of work surfaces to having clear safety measures and smart storage. Getting this stuff right from the very beginning will save you so many expensive headaches down the road.
And speaking of materials, your sourcing strategy is absolutely critical. Can you get what you need locally and reliably? Trust me, relying on complicated imports can be a total nightmare for a new business. And smart moves, like using seasonal products if you can, will help keep your costs down. At the end of the day, the relationships you build with your suppliers and the quality of your ingredients directly define the quality of your final product. It's that simple.
And here we are. We've reached the final and maybe the most important piece of this whole blueprint. You could have the perfect plan, all the funding, the perfect workspace, but it all means absolutely nothing if you can't answer this one question with a confident yes.
This is the moment of truth, where your idea finally meets the customer. So how do you make people want what you have? Well, you appeal to their senses. This is such a powerful concept. It's the beautiful packaging that first catches their eye. It's the smell of fresh coffee brewing in a bookstore that makes them want to stay a while. It's the soft music in a restaurant that helps them relax. It's all about creating a memorable, physical, and emotional experience around whatever it is you're selling.
And this really gets to the heart of it all. You're not just selling an item. You are selling an entire experience. The memory of how your business made a customer feel, that's what creates loyalty. That's what brings them back again and again.
So as a final check for yourself, just run through this list. Ask yourself, does this truly meet a need for someone? And here's the tricky one. Is it unique enough to get noticed, but not so different that it just confuses people? Finding that sweet spot between familiar and novel is key. That, combined with consistent quality and reliable service, that's how you build trust.
So there you have it, the blueprint for taking an idea and turning it into a real plan. We've checked its viability, the people, the funding, the physical needs, and the customer appeal. The only question left is the one on the screen. You have the blueprint. Are you ready to build?